Hello, I'm Zach,
I'm Zubair.
and welcome to our discussion today. We are talking about the 33rd word from Said Nursi's book, The Words, from his collection, the Risale-i-Nur.
Well, yeah. We begin with the dua and then start along with the text.
Yes, we'll give a recap after.
Yeah,
too.
sure. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد.
Okay, so last time we talked about...
Just make a to complete the introduction. We have the original version of the book, text, and the translated version for both our convenience. We are going to refer the original one when necessary. So please continue.
Okay.
Sorry for the interruption.
Okay, so last week we talked about how, especially when we feel limits on our creation. For example, I say that I love my child and I want to love him forever, but I realize through the constraints that God has put in His universal laws that I can't love forever, either through death or through aging. I mean, I want my child to be a child.
Well, there are dozens, thousands of reasons not to love, not to be able to love someone endlessly, painlessly.
So, and we came to the point that the names of Most Merciful and All Compassionate come to the rescue to that constraint, our cries from that constraint.
Yeah.
And
before we came to that point, we started with the comparing the microcosmos and the microcosmos and the microcosmos.
Yes, and how that our goal is to find the oneness of God, His necessary existence, and oneness of God. So we're going to continue that discussion. We're on our goal of finding the oneness of God, or the unity of God, and His necessary existence.
Yes.
So we left off last week talking about how can we find these different manifestations of the Most Merciful and All Compassionate in creation.
Yeah.
In our everyday lives, at least. So we'll read to the end of this paragraph, and then we will continue with the discussion. So I'll read straight first, and then we can go.
Well, if they want to refer the previous discussion, they can look the previous discussion as the rest of the story, for the rest of the text that we have read last time.
Yes. Okay. So I will continue from where we left off last time, which is for everybody's reference. If you have the book version, it is on page 684, near the end of the middle paragraph. That is to say, within those universal and general principles, He has special favors, special succor or help, special manifestations, so that everything may seek help from Him and look to Him at all times for every need. Then, from every apartment, every level, every world, every realm of being, every individual, from everything, He opened up windows which would show Himself, that is, which would make known His existence in unity. He left a telephone in every heart.
Yeah.
So our goal right now is how do we see the manifestations, how we can see these the answer for help in our everyday life.
Yes.
Anything that comes to your mind first, I'll ask you after reading this.
Well, thank you. Last time we said we focused on the plan, the blueprint of the universe, even the time and the space.
Okay.
The God willed that He created this time and space that includes the whole universe, as far as we know. And by looking at the result, by looking at the universe, the whole fully organized thing, we understand there is a whole perfect plan ahead of it.
Yes.
Everything has been planned before the creation, and we named this before by the original text, the Arabic version, as Ezel.
Yes.
Which is not the before the time and space, it's timeless, out of time. The God
is not bound by time.
Is not bound by time. So we again, according to the text we were reading, we understand, we learned that the God manifested all his names and attributes through the universal laws and general principles,
Mhm.
so that we can understand his names and attributes. And since those names and attributes are somehow constraining us, we are crying, for example, the love example you just have given.
Mhm.
So we are looking for some ways to go free of it.
Mhm.
And we are asking for some help,
Mhm.
for some, according to the text, some mercy and compassionateness.
Yes.
There the names comes to the rescue or appears to us.
Okay. Okay. So, let's look at the text and try to understand this, I think. So, within those universal and general principles themselves, actually. So, at one point, we're being constrained, I think, by wanting to love our children forever, or our loved ones forever. We realize that that's a constraint, but at the same time, within that constraint, we find that he has a special favor.
Well, yeah. So that means he is trying to drive us to the point that we could call for help.
Mm-hmm. So that constraint is itself a mercy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the point that you explained it very beautifully.
Thank you. So, how can we see that as a mercy?
Yes.
I think is the next step then. So we understand that it is a mercy because, but how do we see it as a mercy? By not
Yeah. Interesting. Yes.
by not being able to love my child infinitely, how is that a mercy beyond the fact that it drives me to him? And why is that the mercy itself? What does my heart want is the question.
For example, if I cannot possess my child endlessly, or if any harm happens to her, my daughter, 1.5-year-old, by the way, it's not mercy. There's a problem. I cannot ever feel fine with it. But there are a lot of consequences of this kind in the universe that happens all and all again. And that is somehow reminding me something.
Okay.
They are on purpose.
Okay.
So they are urging me, telling me to apply God, for his mercifulness. Let's see how, but the last sentence is somehow interesting.
Okay.
Then from every apartment, every level, every world, every realm of being, every individual, from everything, he opened up windows which should show himself, the God, that is, make known his existence and unity. Can we count that the constraints, the universal laws, as those windows?
I think so.
So even the constraints are showing his names
Yes.
to me.
Yes.
For example, we have talked about too much the children. For example, if I ever, may Allah forbid, if I ever lose my daughter, that reminds me, if I ever lose anything that I possess, that reminds me that I do not have the power to keep it in my hands.
Yes.
Who can?
If I don't have the power to keep it,
And someone who keeps the whole universe in order, up and running, without any problem.
so by my not being able to hold it, it shows that
Someone
must be able to hold it.
Yeah, that's my suggestion.
Okay.
Let's discuss it.
Okay. All right. I think also another good point too that we might add is that I can't be satisfied with anything, with loving something not forever.
Yeah,
So I want something that is forever. I think it goes along the same context that you're saying. So that the satisfaction, I can't be satisfied with loving my child if I'm going to lose my child.
In any way.
In any way, yeah, in any way, shape, or form. So my heart wants something
Which is endless.
which is endless.
And there is no apparent way to have it.
And, your point, and also wants my child to be endless too.
Yes.
So I want something that can hold the endlessness at the same time.
But in this universe, there is nothing endless.
Yes.
Apparently and straightforwardly, everything has an end. Everything has a clear and clearly seen end.
Yes.
So it's a message, my suggestion.
If something ends, there has to be something that continues.
Wow. That's a deep meaning. Let's keep on.
Okay. Okay. Then, I think...
The last sentence. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Actually, real quickly, this was part of the last discussion itself, but when he refreshes, he brings in new creations all the time. After everything happens, this was in the previous page, but how can I put it, if I remember the text itself? He said, once we are fully created,
The whole universe.
the whole universe, different creations come over and over again, replacing previous ones.
Yes. For the refresh, he makes fresh creations and new changes and transformations in every level of it.
Yes.
And we clearly see that in the universe.
And each one, the fact that something comes and replaces, shows that there's something above it that is continuing so that it might replace.
Let's quote from other texts from the Risale-i Nur collection. If think about a river.
Okay.
There are a lot of bubbles in this river, and they are flowing. Each and every bubble has some shining little sun on their shining face. I'm sorry. That tells us there is one steady, big sun up there, which is permanent
Yes.
in terms of the universe.
Otherwise, there would have to be a sun in every little bubble itself.
Do we see, let's put the question right here. Do we see a shining little sun in every creation?
Yes.
It depends on how do we understand the sun.
Yes.
But yes, there is something that makes the sense of big sun.
Yes,
In
something pointing towards the big sun.
Yes, in each and every creation in this world.
Yes.
Even the minute thing, even the minest thing, and the biggest one.
Yes.
I interrupted you too much.
No, it's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
Interrupt as much as you want. Okay, so we understand that there is something, to recap that, there's something that is above it so that it might exist. Another example is a house. When somebody leaves, somebody else comes in. My leaving points to the house's continual existence when somebody else comes in.
The house stays.
The house stays.
It's permanent.
Yes. Relatively permanent, the house, but yes.
Of course, we are talking about the concept.
Okay. All right, so then
I need to make a comment on the last sentence. He left a telephone in every heart.
Okay.
Actually, I want you to make a comment on this.
Me to make a comment. He opened up and he left a telephone in every heart.
Considering the sentences before this one. He set up the scene.
Okay.
He created everything, then constrained them with the universal rules, universal laws, and general principles.
Okay.
And he made them cry out. And he invited them to call his most merciful and most compassionate names.
And
It wouldn't be logical to not to leave a phone line in every heart.
so that when they see the right answer, they know that it's right.
And when they need to call someone who is most compassionate and most merciful, they feel it right away.
Yes, it's instantaneous when you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
kind of like when you, I don't know, I'd have to go with an example. Do you have one?
I might try. When something that happens in a universal form that I cannot ever control, for example, an earthquake happens,
Mm-hmm.
or a big space thing
Mm-hmm.
is about to hit the earth,
Mm-hmm.
what would everyone think?
We're all going. They'd be afraid. We're all going
Well,
to die.
of course.
Yes.
And if I'm thinking about the universe ever, if I ever done that before, I'm thinking that this is on purpose, considering the rest of the whole universe. Everything is on purpose, and that big rock in the space falling down to Earth
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be out of that purpose or the rules.
Yes. It's following rules.
Following the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, the whole universe, the whole planets cannot go without any error. That we know there are a bunch of thousands of planets
Yeah.
that runs with some rules without hitting each other.
Yes.
If any two of them ever hits to each other, that we would definitely notice that.
Yes. And even if they hit, we understand through our previous experiences that it's following a certain order and rule.
So, this rock in the space falling down to the earth is not out of the rule.
Yes.
So I could call the ruler,
Mm-hmm.
to ask his help.
Mm-hmm.
And strangely, I can feel it right in my heart.
Okay.
No one ever has to tell me about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do you agree or not?
I agree, but would I still be afraid? Would I mean, does that come to
Good point.
Yes, I can reach without having to talk with anybody else, but maybe the telephone doesn't look more towards the answer from the Creator that brings satisfaction to my heart.
I think it depends on how deep you examine the universe.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Maybe we should talk about this later on too
Okay.
much. But God gives us the clues, the examples of His general rulings,
Mhm.
and the universe, in the universe, on each and every little detail.
Okay.
So He's emphasizing the helpline
Yes.
too powerful.
Yes. I think when we read on, it says, let's not discuss these right now. Let's wrap up this point
Okay.
and then go, because this is a deep discussion in and of itself. But real quickly, just to show that the response is instantaneous and it brings satisfaction is, I always ask, if you love your mother.
For example,
Everybody says, yes. I'll say, explain it. I can't explain it. I just know in my heart
Yes.
that it's right. So I think that's looking towards that, this last thing, the telephone there. We know it's right, even if we can't explain that it's right, and we feel satisfied by it.
I get the call and I know there is someone to answer it.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
That even also gives me satisfaction.
yes, yes.
Relief.
Yes. So let's continue, because I think the author himself doesn't
Okay.
intend to go into much detail right now.
Okay.
So, for now, we shall not attempt to discuss those innumerable windows, which is anyway beyond our power. Referring them to the all-encompassing knowledge of God, we shall only point out in a concise and brief manner 33 windows, since it corresponds to the blessed numbers of the Tesbihat, the remembrance of God, following the prescribed prayers. And for a more detailed explanation of this, which forms the 33rd letter and 33rd word, and consists of gleams from verses of the Quran, we refer readers to the rest of the words.
Okay.
So,
We are going to read the first. Those were the introduction of the 33rd window.
Mhm.
So we are going to read the first window yet.
yes, okay. So, first window. If we look we see that all things, and especially living creatures, have numerous different needs. First window. If we look, we see that all things, and especially living creatures, have numerous different needs and numerous different wants. And those wants and needs are provided for them at the appropriate time in unexpected ways, from places they do not know and their hands cannot reach. Succor comes from them. Succor comes to them. But the power of these needy beings is insufficient for even the smallest of those endless things they wish for. They cannot meet their needs. Consider yourself. Of how many things are you in need that your hands cannot reach, like your eternal and inner senses and their needs? Compare all other living creatures with yourself. See, just as singly they testify to the necessary existence and point to His unity, so in their totality they show to this reason a necessarily existent one behind the veil of the unseen, a single one of unity among titles of most generous, all-compassionate, nurturer, and disposer. O ignorant unbeliever and dissolute heedless one, with what can you explain this wise, percipient, compassionate activity? Deaf nature? Blind force? Senseless chance? Can you explain it through impotent, lifeless causes?
You have just read the whole window.
I did. Let's try to understand that window. What are we looking at through that window?
It's a bit striking, right?
It is.
It tells us or teaches us how to look at the universe in a way that we could understand it more.
Yes. Okay. I think it's also explaining our reality. That we have numerous different needs and numerous different wants.
All things, and especially living creatures.
Yes. 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 All things, and especially living creatures, have numerous needs and different ones. So as a living creature myself, I want everything.
Well, yeah, everything. Just to count some of the we need air. We need water. We need sun, light.
Yes.
We need the atmosphere. We need the earth. We need the grass. We need the sky. And the list goes on and on.
Let me ask you a question. What is your favorite food?
A lot.
Give me one. Simple thing. Favorite food. Just give me one thing that you like.
Chicken.
Chicken. I like chicken too. I think maybe most people like chicken, but yes. So a simple food, even a simple thing like chicken. Imagine that you didn't have the feeling of full. You never got full.
Wow, must be horrible.
Imagine that you never got full and you had an infinite supply of chicken.
Might be interesting.
How long would you eat the chicken? For how long? And you never got fat. I mean, let's put the perfect conditions.
Not more than 5 minutes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'll add one more thing then. It has the best taste that you have ever tasted. You know, when you're very hungry, you haven't eaten all day, and you come home, and there's chicken in front of you.
I'll give it 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Are you sure?
Let's make it 1 hour. Not more than that.
Why?
Because after I eat,
you don't get hungry. You don't get full. It's the best taste ever.
I said it might be interesting. You suppose that I wouldn't ever stop?
I would think so.
If I don't get ever full, the taste would never decrease, theoretically at least.
And you had an infinite supply of chicken.
Go for it.
Yeah, you wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
It shows that actually, as humans, we want every single thing, even the simplest things, forever.
I have something that supports your theory. If, for example, my wife prepares the best chicken of this last year, for example, and I started, even before starting to eat it, I kind of feel that let it last even some more, but it doesn't.
Yes.
After a certain point, for example, if after I ate it 10 minutes, for example, since I have not unlimited stomach, it ends.
Yes.
It loses its taste.
Yes.
Actually, the chicken does not lose anything.
Yes.
But
My ability to want it, my ability to get pleasure from it.
well, actually, let's make it even more further. The chicken also loses the taste because it's going to get cold.
Okay.
If you try to warm it up again, it's not the same before.
Yeah.
Or if my wife cooks another chicken, it wouldn't feel exactly the same.
Yeah.
Or blah, blah, blah. So I would really want the first minute's taste forever.
Yes, you want that first bite.
But that doesn't happen.
Yes. So the
Ever happen.
Yes. So although you want it, maybe even to the point of needing it or feeling that you need it,
Maybe I'm starving for it.
yes, I mean psychologically you might be.
Yeah.
Okay. So even though you want it and you want it forever, actually, if possible, you can't have it. The chicken itself can't give it to you. That's our state. That's our reality.
Nobody can.
Yes.
Nothing can.
Nothing can. We want every single thing, even a simple piece of chicken, for eternity,
Yes.
but the chicken itself can't give it.
And at the moment that we are faced with the chicken with its beautiful face, the moment we started to experience the pain
Yes.
of losing it.
Yes.
It's valid for the brand new car, the brand new mobile phone, the whatever. At the moment you face with it, you face with the beautiful face, the taste, you begin experiencing to losing it.
Yes. Yes. So it can't give it, although
Okay.
we want it.
Okay, we got till here.
Okay?
And those wants and needs are provided for them at the appropriate time, in unexpected ways, from places they do not know and their hands cannot reach.
Yes.
Could you reach ever the sun?
No.
But sun serves us all the time.
Yes.
The air, the atmosphere, and the earth, everything that we have counted so far.
Yes. The earth revolves around the sun.
Yeah.
That's a part. We need that.
The orbit.
Yes.
And we understand that our hands cannot reach those things. We cannot manage them in any way. But how about the unexpected ways?
Okay.
I was asking you.
You're hungry.
I
mean, when you are hungry. Let's imagine this. So you're hungry right now. I am, maybe.
Maybe I am too, okay.
So you're hungry right now. You want that satisfaction. Okay, you want to feel satisfaction for your hunger. A full stomach itself isn't the problem. You want satisfaction. You feel empty. You want that.
It's not that something physical, you mean?
Yes, it's not just physical. It is physical, but it's not just physical.
For example, there are some, medical solutions to some stomach problems. They put something in your stomach to make it feel full, and you're not feeling hunger anymore.
Yes.
But you are not psychologically fed.
Yes. You want more.
We want more.
Yeah. I mean, if we want, we can. I think we've all done it. We've eaten medicine. Theoretically, if we were to eat something without any taste, we would fill ourselves. But nobody would want to.
Yeah.
So yes, our humanity wants something more.
Yes, sure.
So you're hungry. You want that feeling, both physically and spiritually. But chicken?
We are talking about the concept here,
Yeah.
not the physical hunger or
Yes.
the physical chicken.
How can chicken give you that satisfaction? Yeah, okay, maybe if you eat the chicken physically, it's going to fill your stomach. But
It's not endless.
But your satisfaction, your feeling of full, deeply and spiritually, is also coming at the same time as eating that chicken. How can a chicken do that? It might fill your stomach physically, might provide that. It might satisfy your feeling of empty stomach. But how can a chicken satisfy your human need for something more?
someone could say that the taste of the chicken could provide you with that. Would you disagree?
I would disagree.
Explain then.
For example, why did you say my wife made the best chicken
Uh-huh.
in the world?
Because she does.
Okay, she does.
I assume she does.
For you, she does.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but when you go and you eat chicken, maybe processed chicken, somebody just made it without any decoration. When your wife makes dinner for you, I'm sure it's a lovely plate. She puts a lot of effort into it. And that brings more joy to you when you eat it. The presentation itself is bringing you this spiritual satisfaction. There's something behind the chicken that's not the chicken itself that's giving it to you. Because when you go and you make your own chicken and you just gobble it down, I do it.
Well, yeah.
It's not the same
Yeah.
as when
of
somebody
course.
makes it for you with love, compassion, and mercy.
At the time you need, for example,
Yes.
at the time you truly need,
Yes.
I think we are getting hungry too.
Yes. And we come home and our loved ones have made something for us when we're really hungry. We come home from a long day of work.
For example.
We're tired. And
So
we-
it's not coming from the chicken. It's not coming from the, you suggest. It's not coming from the stomach. It's not coming from the physical. Maybe some.
not even the taste of the chicken. But it's coming with it at the same time.
Yes.
But it's not coming from the chicken. So the fact that it's coming from the
Interesting.
chicken that's unexpected. It shouldn't, but it does.
Well, yeah.
But we also know that it's not the chicken because we know that our wives made it.
And they are provided for them at the appropriate time,
Yes.
in
Exact-
unexpected ways, from places they do not know and their hands cannot reach.
Yes. So, in reality, is it your loved one, is it your wife who is actually putting that goodness into the chicken when you eat it?
If we consider that the same exact chicken could be served by someone else and could not do the same effect, so then my answer is no. Someone could say the emotional things might affect, but those emotional things might be present by someone else maybe,
Yes.
or we make get the list more and more.
Yes.
We understand it's not that. The thing that really makes us satisfied, that makes us happy, is something else.
Yes.
And whatever that is, it's not infinite too. So we asking for that thing to be infinite.
Yes.
Not the chicken itself.
Yes. Yes, not the chicken, but that satisfaction, that spiritual satisfaction we want infinitely too.
Interesting. We are always asking for the chicken butt,
Yes,
not
exactly.
the satisfaction or whatever the name is.
Yes, yes. So upon realizing that the chicken itself can't get it, can't bring it to us, asking for the chicken is meaningless.
Yes. It's something like, wow, interesting example. It's something like, for example, you, may Allah forbid, you lose your loved ones, and your loved one always were preparing you the chicken, the best of the year, for example, as I mentioned. After you lose her, you constantly having chicken to get that taste, but apparently that doesn't happen.
Yes, it's not the same.
It's not the same. So, for example, you met again your loved ones, for example, after a year break or some geographical separation or whatever it is. The first chicken you bite is the greatest one. The next bite is not the same again.
Yes.
So it's not the chicken, the wife, the meal, whatever, the table. Those are not important.
Yes.
There's something that we should sense, we should aware of. Someone is trying to give us the taste, the clues of something else.
For example, why do you love chicken? Did you choose to love chicken? You said you love it.
You're going with chicken too much. Well, I don't know.
I mean, did you choose?
It just happened.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know.
The same for me. I don't
It's
know.
not an engineering question. It's just love the chicken.
Yes, I do. But you didn't choose to love the chicken itself. You
Yeah.
just found yourself loving it. I mean, just like I found myself loving Pasta.
Cheese.
Oh, you know it.
Got you.
Yes, and more than pasta, cheese. Yes, I found myself loving it. I can't explain why, but yes, I love cheese. You love chicken. But anyway, we found ourselves loving it. We didn't create that feeling of love.
Well, and we cannot manage it.
Yes, and our wives didn't create us loving chicken either, or cheese.
And they cannot manage it too.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
But what happens is, this is how we're going to point it to the necessary existence of God. I love chicken. I didn't create the feeling of love. So that means the love itself was put in me for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So that I might understand what love is. Without loving chicken, or even loving my wife's chicken that she made, I can't understand love.
Mm.
So, I understand love through whatever means. Through chicken, through cheese, through my wife's making it. Why? I understand love. It shows that my Creator loves me. This is where this was our goal.
Yes.
We want to see these attributes as also being the solution.
Why he wants me to love chicken,
Yes.
to eat, and doesn't give me the whole taste all the way.
Yes, and doesn't let you love it forever.
Yeah.
Now, at least. So that we can realize what love is. We can understand love. And we can realize that it was given to us
As a bounty.
as a bounty. Love is given to us as a bounty.
And the chicken is also given.
Yes, the chicken too, but the love itself, the human quality of love, is given to us so that we can understand that our Creator, the one who gave us the love, loves us.
Yes.
He loves us.
And he wants us to notice it.
Yes, and He does that by making us love the chicken or the cheese or anything else that you love.
It's a way of teaching us.
Yes.
But the power of these needy beings is insufficient for even the smallest of those endless things they wish for.
Yes.
They cannot meet their needs.
Yes.
Consider yourself of how many things are you in need that your hands cannot reach. A lot.
Everything.
Everything.
We want everything for eternity. I think we understand that.
We may start to list those things, and even that list goes to eternity.
Yes.
And see.
If you want,
I'm
I can continue reading if you'd like.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Okay. Consider yourself. Of how many things are you in need that your hands cannot reach? Like
lot.
like your external and inner senses and their needs.
Yes.
Yes, so we're focusing more than on just the chicken itself, the physical things, but our external and inner senses. Our want for love,
For example.
our want for compassion, our want for mercy. Not only do we want it, but we need it.
The art,
Mhm.
the even my eye
Mhm.
wants to see a lot of different beautiful creatures,
Mhm.
even different combinations of colors
Mhm.
also gets my attraction,
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
and I love it endlessly. I
Yes.
love it endlessly.
Mhm.
Please.
Compare all other living creatures with yourself. See just as singly they testify to the necessary existence and point to His unity. I think we understand that through looking at the chicken and how it doesn't do it, our wife who doesn't put the love in us so that we might love chicken. So we see that this is happening. We are dependent on all of them, but they don't cause it in us.
Yes.
And so that points to His unity.
Everything needs endless things.
Mhm.
And everything, especially, as in the text, especially living creatures, need endless things.
Mhm.
And all those endless things are being given in some unexpected forms, unexpected ways.
Yes.
And this testifies to the necessary existence and points to His unity.
Yes. Among titles of most generous, all compassionate, nourisher, and disposer.
We are going to discuss about this in the upcoming windows.
Yes.
So maybe we shouldn't spend too much time on this window
Yes, let's
for
finish.
this time.
Let's finish this last paragraph.
Okay.
I think this is a summary of what we talked about.
Okay.
O ignorant unbeliever. Could you check the Turkish word while I read it? O ignorant unbeliever and dissolute heedless one. With what can you explain this wise, percipient, compassionate activity? Deaf nature, blind force, senseless chance? Can you explain it through impotent, lifeless causes? What was the word used for unbeliever?
Münkir cahil
Okay.
and fasık gafil.
Okay. So again, unbeliever is again denier.
Again, yeah.
Yes. So one who denies.
The one who denies,
Yes, the ignorant denier.
the ignorant denier.
Okay. So just like this, chicken itself, a dead piece of chicken, has no way of giving you that satisfaction.
But I need satisfaction. I love chicken. And can chicken come to my help
No. But,
as it is deaf?
but it does.
Deaf?
It can't, but it does. It can't, but it does. But we can't explain why or how it comes to our aid by the chicken itself or anything else.
Okay.
They are all simple causes that show us this. I think that that's a good stopping point.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us with this in this discussion. We hope you enjoyed it.
And see you next time.
Yes, if you want to make the dua.
سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم آخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين